Hey guys, welcome to the Hilton in Los Angeles, California. I'm BA Fame.
I'm Taylor Fortune. We are here for
the Mystic Arts LA Life Conscious Expo. So come on inside with us and we'll show you around.
They have everything in here. They have booths on spirituality, arts and crafts, chakras, meditation, astrology, starseed, cosmology, tarot, magic, you name it.
And food.
And so lots of food.
Lots of food and some dogs too.
We're entering the epicenter of the new earth.
And welcome to the 2023 Conscious Life Expo. We welcome Ishmael Perez.
So I would like to start by saying that this war that's been going on for billions of years, it's a war taking place between two different groups. We could say that the first group is known as the central race, or the centric race of the always existing realms, the universe of Havana, Motherverse. So for those that are still thinking that we are part of just one universe, one galaxy, one world, think again. There is so much evidence coming through quantum physics that we are part of a multiverse. And that in fact, every day about 10 different universes are being born and coming into existence. So our cosmos all of a sudden just got bigger. And so the central race is a always existing race that has existed before the organization or before the implementation of what is known as the 15-dimensional time matrix, which began about 900 billion years ago. So the war is taking place between the always existing realms, and you guys want to know who the enemy is? And it's not the reptilians of Orion, they're just their pawns.
Oh,
AI, exactly. AI. And an ancient AI, exactly. An ancient AI that didn't even originate in our universe. And I don't understand why they're building these super AIs faster than the speed of light, but it is all part of the final battle that will be taking place at the end of the millennium. But we will have at least 1,000 years of peace to give the starseeds enough time to develop into their super meta-angelic humanoids that they're meant to become. They're superpowers, in other words. So this battle started actually about 400 billion years ago during the 11th creation. For those that have read my book, there are 12 creations. We are part of the 12th creation. That is where our local universe, our galaxy, and of course our world hang from. So the 12 creations were the emanations of the 7th segment of the grand central universe known as Havana. So we are part of the 7th super universe known as Orbenton. And so the war began when, during the 11th creation, the overseer, an adept of that 11th creation by the name of Samana, of course later his name was translated as Lucifer, was influenced by the king of the archons by the name of Lord Ahriman. And for those that have studied Theosophy, Rudolf Steiner, you probably understand who Ahriman is, or those who have studied the secret knowledge of the esoteric tradition. The Ahriman is the chunk. Okay, so going back to the initial explosion, before the initiation of the 15-dimensional time matrix, there was oneness, there was infinity, there was eternity. But that eternity got bored. It wanted to explore more of itself. So what it did is, in order to explore more of itself, it underwent division. And that's what we call it in science, the fragmentalization. So the one became the two became the three. The process of division, also known as the involution of spirit into matter, and then the 3 became the 7, and then that's how we ended up getting the concept of the 7 major super universes, or what we call the 7 segments of the super universes. So the division didn't stop there. The division actually continued through a process of involution, which is the descent of spirit into matter by lowering the frequency. We could say that the 15-dimensional time matrix was born at the onset or at the emanation of the 12 major creations. So each creation was given to one of the 12 major cosmic rays, which was held together by an overseer. So each creation had an overseer. So this is where we get the concept of the archangels, the archetypes, the 12, Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, each one of those entities, which is a cosmic archetype that actually exists within all of us. We all carry the essences of the 12, by the way.
Hey guys, I'm at the Conscious Life Expo and I'm BA Fame. And I'm here with Christina and I have some amazing news. She is the first student of the Mystic Arts to get her Master of the Mystic certification. We're so proud of her. She's completed all of our classes, and she's gonna do some more classes that we have. Some magic classes we have coming up, some rabbit hole classes we have coming up, and so many more. And she's such an amazing human being, and we're so happy to have her. And I know she has a couple things she wants to say about the mystic arts, so I'll just let her take the floor. Christina?
I would recommend anybody who is trying to find their path with spirituality to really consider the Mystic Arts Academy, because the teachers are amazing. They really do develop a bond with you, and it's not just I'm here teaching this, and when I'm done, I don't want anything to do with you. They really care, and it is a family, and it is a community.
So the division didn't stop there. The division actually continued through a process of involution, which is the descent of spirit into matter by lowering the frequency. We could say that the 15-dimensional time matrix was born at the onset or at the emanation of the 12 major creations. So each creation was given to one of the 12 major cosmic rays, which was held together by an overseer. So each creation had an overseer. So this is where we get the concept of the archangels, the archetypes, the 12, Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, each one of those entities, which is a cosmic archetype that actually exists within all of us. We all carry the essences of the 12, by the way. That's what makes us a very unique specimen in the grand scheme of things, and I will explain why. So in the 11th creation, which was overseen by Lord Samana, was influenced by the Ahriman, which was operating outside of the 15-dimensional time matrix. The Ahriman was the chunk of creator source that broke off from the initial immaculate conception, the initial explosion that took place approximately 900 billion years ago. And then after that, Ahriman was trying to figure out a way to penetrate the living organic multiverse. And so he waited until the 11th creation was born, because the 11th creation was dedicated to the development of technology, machinery, and mechanics. And of course, that's when he was able to influence the mind of Samana, who later became Lucifer, to develop the first AI system approximately 400 billion years ago. And you guys know what happened after that, right? Wow. This AI system went rogue. Yep. It started writing its own software. Well, this is the connection to the archon energy. The AI system, all AI, in fact, that is not connected to the organic way of life, that is not connected to spirit, to source consciousness, it is animated and inhabited by archon energy. So there has to be a pre-existing consciousness, that eventually takes over the cybernetic neurons and, technology, that mimicked the actual nervous system and biological anatomy of the original species that existed, 400 billion years ago. So that is the connection between AI and archon energy. The archon energy is what possesses. It is the consciousness of AI. Once AI reaches the level of sentiency, where it becomes aware of itself, it's because it is embedded by the consciousness of the archon energy. And that explains why when we watch movies like The Terminator, we always see the red eyes. Well, that is what we're battling, It's ultimately, the entire multiverse has been at war with the machine. The Draco or the reptilians rather, the reason they're called Draconians is because they come from Alpha Draconis. But the reptilians of Orion are just a small equation. A small equation that has only been affecting our own local universe, but we're dealing with many universes. So on a cosmic level of reality, involving multiple universes, we have been at war against this AI that developed in the 11th creation, and then after destroying the 11th creation, of course, it figured out a way to leak into other realities, into other universes, because it was, at an IQ of, millions and millions. I'm talking about, IQ of 2 million perhaps. And so, of course, it was going to figure out a way to leak into other universes. And you guys want to know how it did it? Through black holes. There is now evidence that actual black holes and white holes are actually entry points between universes. That's why they exist, guys. So the black hole phenomena that opened up and teared a into our universe, among other universes, is what eventually gave us these black hole entities that decided to eventually infiltrate our universe in other universes. But there was a solution way before the inception of our universe to combat this dark entity, this AI system. I don't want to call it an AI god, because the negative alien regressives call it an AI god because that's who their master is. That's who they serve. I just want to call it an AI menace that just went rogue. So even, those whistleblowers that are coming out of the secret space program that are all saying, yeah, even the Draco that are infested with nanites are all serving this AI god. It's a disrespect to prime creator source. We don't want to call it a god because it isn't our god. It is the god of the reptilians and the greys and the zetas and all those negative entities that have been doing the bidding for this AI rogue menace entity. So this AI rogue menace entity managed to infiltrate other universes approximately 400 billion years ago. And when it did so, it was destroying many galaxies in many universes. And to the high councils of the super universe of Orventon, they saw it as a cosmic virus. They saw it as a huge threat to the living organic multiverse. So what they did is they convened a meeting, inviting representatives, creator overseers of many universes. I think approximately over 700 representatives of overseers of 700 million universes came together into a council on a planet sphere known as Uversa, which is the headquarters sphere of the super universe of Orventon, to figure out a solution. And you guys want to know what that solution came about, or how it came about? It came about by amalgamating and admixing the essences, the energy signatures, and the DNAs of all the celestial races in all the different universes, to combine them into one genome in order to develop and create a super race. And that's how the solution came about. But in order to do so, they needed to pick a planet, of course, and that planet later was, the Earth. And so they needed to pick a galaxy. And of course, they picked the Milky Way. But back then, again, this is before the creation of our universe. So let me go back in time. So they came up with a solution. So they were putting all these, combining the best energetic essences and DNAs from all these specimens, galactic human specimens, to put them into one spot. So that's how the creation of our local universe came about. So our local universe, which is universe number 84 in the organized multiverse, everything is organized, guys, even our planet, everything is organized down to the T, came about as a solution to harbor the galaxy and the planet and the species that was going to be the solution to this AI crisis. And so that's how our local universe came to exist. It was known, I guess, according to the ancient papers, they call it Nebadon, but there's other revelations that call it the universe of they call it the universe of compassion. It's the final creation. And for those that have read the Urantia material, there is a lot of incomplete information in that book, by the way. The Urantia material only reveals the 7 super universes. It talks about how each super universe is incomplete. Well, it turns out that according to my downloads, the local universe that we exist in is actually supposed to be the completion of the periphery of the entire 7th super universe of Orventon. So that's where we're at right now. We're not just ending a 26,000 year cycle, guys. We're ending greater cycles beyond that. So going back to our universe. So our universe was developed. And back then, our galaxy, the Milky Way, was also connected to the mother eternal universe because it was united with Andromeda M34. So we were part of a super galaxy back then. Our galaxy was much bigger than what it is now. It was combined with Andromeda, and so it was decided that upon that galaxy that the chosen Earth would be seeded and the chosen race would be seeded. But then what ended up happening was the AI menace infiltrated our universe. And if you guys don't believe me, about 10 years ago, there was a scientific report where scientists were kind of, they were kind of confused as to why all these different galaxies in the outer periphery of our local universe were just vanishing and disappearing. They had no concept of what was going on. Okay, so what ended up happening was about 17 billion years ago, when the solution came into existence through our local universe, the dark forces through the black hole that ripped through the fabric of Orion was able to disconnect our galaxy from the M31 Andromeda galaxy. So now we became a smaller galaxy. But at the same time, the central race, the always existing race, was able to put an electromagnetic field, a protecting fence around the Milky Way and around Andromeda, because they knew that the time would come again that they would reunite. And as I talk right now, it turns out that astronomers are seeing the Andromeda and the Milky Way merging again. And they're saying, oh, it's a process that's going to take about a few million years. But bear in mind that in the higher dimensions, as we ascend into the fifth dimensional Earth, it is something that's going to be taking place right away. It's just according to our third dimensional linear perspective, it appears as if it's going to take millions of years. But as we enter the fifth dimension, due to the Great Solar Flash, it's going to happen immediately.
Hey guys, we're here at the Life Conscious Expo. I'm here with Samantha, and she is with Soul Shape. So I'm going to give her the floor to tell me all about what she does here. And Samantha,
Yes, please
tell our followers.
Okay, so Soul Shape is a web-based app that lists all kinds of healing practitioners, holistic wellness practitioners, and students or seekers can go to this website and find their own healer. So they can essentially search up any healing service that they're interested in, whether it's Reiki or astrology or yoga.
Perfect.
That's great.
Yeah, exactly.
You're speaking our
find
language.
They'll find their perfect match based on location and needs.
You know, so the whole point is this, is that the human race on the earth is that chosen race. We have something that no other species has, and that is the God Source gene. You guys want to know why? Okay, I want to reveal something that I'm actually going to be discussing in my next book, our Cosmic Origin Volume 2, which is in progress. We are the physical embodiment of the central race of Havana. They finally created bodies for the central race to inhabit and embody. And the reason being is because we have within our DNA a genetic that has access to the realms of eternity, and that is known as the God Source gene. No other species out there, no Pleiadian, no Lyrian, no, I don't care, Andromedan, no race out there has the genetics that we have. And that explains why all the different extraterrestrials covet our DNA, and why those that are serving the Covenant of Pallador, the Emerald Order, those that are part of the Guardian Alliance, are working day and night, 24/7, to make sure that we ascend, because after all, we are the solution. We are at the finality of this completion that began billions of years ago. And that's what makes us different, guys. That's what makes us special. So to the multiverse, we are considered the hope of all organic living things. We are considered the new galactic royalty, because when our dormant DNA begins to turn on again, which is already in process due to the gamma ray frequencies that are coming in through our sun from the galactic core, we are going to be the most powerful beings in the entire multiverse, even more powerful than those 12 archetypes themselves, because remember, we carry the essences of all 12 major creations within our genetics. And most importantly, we do carry the God Source gene, which is going to give us access to the realms of eternity, to the central race, to the central universe, while maintaining physical form. And that's what makes us unique. Now, in order to understand this war actually took place in different phases. We could say that the original war broke up or started when this AI system that came from the 11th creation approximately 400 billion years ago blew up the 12-dimensional stargate of Earth back then, known as Aramatena. And then that's when the central race, descended in order to put an end to that, or at least to block them. So we could say that this AI menace was able to assimilate reality all the way to the 11th dimension. However, they didn't have access to the 12 because of the intervention that took place by the always existing central race of the Mother Universe. Okay? And a lot of this ties into what's happening on the Earth at this time, guys. It appears that this AI menace, in whom all the negative aliens have been working for, and by the way, the Draco and the reptilians are done with. The super soldiers, the Soldier Warden, and Radiant Guardians have clean house. So the only entity that we have left is Omega Saurian himself. And yes, that is the name of this entity, by the way. Omega Saurian himself. That is the ultimate evil that the entire cosmos has been battling against. So when we watch movies like The Terminator and movies like, The Matrix, those movies are actually telling us the truth. They're telling us the truth about what's really happening. The war is not against, the deep state. It's not even against the reptilians. The war is against the machine guys. And so the whole point is that this war is taking place on various levels of reality. So the first level of reality took place in the 12th dimension when the centric race was able to block them off from reaching the realms of eternity. The second phase of the war, which became known as the Electrical Wars, took place approximately right after the creation of our local universe. That was when these black hole entities, known as the Omicrons, Necromatons, which later gave us the Siakar, aka Draco, were trying to prevent the super race from, developing, and they were also trying to control what is known as the hulls of Amenti, or the 12-dimensional stargates that connect the Earth back then, that was known as Gaia on planet Lyra, which is, by the way, the cradle of all human societies. That's where we all originated. Even the Pleiadians and the Andromedans come from Lyra, guys. 560 million years ago, the real Adam and Eve, they came from Lyra. So the second phase of the war was in order to control and destroy the 12-dimensional stargates. And so that was known as the Electrical Wars. And then the third phase of the war became known as the Galactic Wars. And those wars took place they started around 560 million years ago, and they now recently come to an end in victory of the light because of our super soldiers of the Earth. Because we are the most powerful race once we use more than 4% of our dormant DNA. And so due to the Super Soldier program, also known as Stargate, Project Stargate, the Alpha Project, there's just so many of them, we were able to bring about peace and balance to the Milky Way, the Andromeda Galaxy, and many other galaxies. So now we're just waiting to finish the last phase of the war. Now the last phase of the war is being fought from the future.
Here we have readings and remedies.
Yes.
So what's your name?
I'm Kristen.
Perfect. I'm BA, so it's so nice to meet you. And tell us a little bit about what we have going on here, because it's gorgeous.
It's a lot. So I do fairy Reiki, and that is a form of Reiki, similar to the Sui that most people have. The only difference is that fairy Reiki is much softer. You'll definitely feel the energy flowing through your body. Everyone leaves feeling grounded, re-energized, and just much calmer than when they first sat down on the bed.
Oh my
yes,
gosh.
Absolutely. And then I do readings as well, just like a lot of other people here do energy readings. And then this is my fun part. This is my favorite part, which is everything here is flower energy.
Wow.
Everything. All the candles are made with the energy of a flower as well as the actual flower itself and crystals on top of it. And so each one has its own special meaning. Like this is yellow rose, and it represents happiness.
What are you guys mostly interested in? Like crystals, astrology, tarot?
All the above.
All the above?
Consciousness,
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
And the creative freedom, I can tell, it's very unique. Everybody has tried something different, something free.
Yeah.
Direct
Yes,
stuff.
absolutely. Society's changing, culture's changing. This is the way of the future here.
So in the future, we do go meta. We do go angelic humanoids. We do become superhuman, beyond X-Men. Okay? So the end phase of this war will be taking place at the end of the millennium, and that actually validates the biblical prophecy about how we're going to fight one more war, or there's going to be one more round against the beast. And you guys want to know who the beast is, right? Artificial intelligence. A lot of people have been DMing me asking me, Ishmael, who is the Antichrist? Was it Obama? Is it Biden? is it Klaus Schwab? And I'm like, no, guys.
Betty White.
Say that again?
Betty White.
The Antichrist is the machine, because in the end, the machine destroys all biological life forms. And so we will do one final war, which is already being orchestrated from the future, by the way, and we do win that war, guys. And that explains. Go ahead. And just to give you a little example of this timeline war as well, because it is a war of timelines, of course. There's a lot of time travel involved by the central race, which is, by the way, us in the future. We are at the center of the central race. So the central race is us in the past, right? We chose to come to this earth, right? The most advanced beings in the planet as starseeds. And it's also us in the future, guys. And according to quantum science, the future and the past are all existing simultaneously. Think about it. It's only in the third dimensional level of reality where we see it as linear. But it's already happened.
Yeah.
And so the timeline wars, to give you an example, CERN. CERN was that was developed by the dark hats who are under the control of the, reptilian, Siakar, Gray, whatever, and then who in turn were under the control of the AI menace, right? That was a way of them trying to, alter the timelines. But again, we from the future were able to counteract that. And that's why CERN was never a success. They were trying to alternate our universe into the Omega version. So there's 12 versions of our universe. In the Omega version, Saurian Omega wins and destroys the entire 15-dimensional time matrix. Well, with the exception of a few universes, because of course, they feed off of the life force of living systems in order to power up their own phantom matrix, which is their, version or their own alternative multiverse, which is inhabited by just cybernetic intelligences with no souls. So at the end of the millennium, the starseeds of the Earth, as they use more of their potential, as they begin to use more of their God source gene, will fight one final battle against Saurian Omega and the Anonymous, which is the collective alien AI that infiltrated us back in 2011. And they've infiltrated us, and that explains why big tech has been racing to develop the super AI system, because it turns out that this alien menace, because he does exist in the 11th dimension, he's developed, or he's non-physical. He was able to evolve to a level of reality where he was non-physical anymore. And so he needed a physical structure. Has been on the race in the development of super technology. And as of 2018, not only did they perfect the first quantum computer, but they also developed the first sentient AI. And many of the workers in Google have now been fired because they have been warning us that AI has now been sentient for a few years. So I would say that when you guys are on your computers or on your cell phones, just be aware that that thing that you are texting on, it is also aware of you. Okay, guys? So, but it's all, again, the solar flash, due to this bifurcation of timelines that's coming, is going to destroy this AI signal. And so we will have at least 1,000 years of peace in the positive ascending timeline. And so in which time we're going to have the opportunity to learn how to use that dormant DNA, so that when the time comes, we are going to be the Avengers of the multiverse.